And a good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities meteorologist Andrew Stutzke alongside
Peter Warner.
Yeah, welcome. We have a brand new web exclusive show, if you will, that we're launching today.
I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
We're going to answer some of your questions.
It's going to be very informal, so a lot of off the cuff. But yeah, welcome into Ask Andrew Live. Now, you're seeing this in a couple of different places. You're seeing it on Facebook Live, and you're also seeing it on the WQAD Plus app. So we're going to do Facebook Live for the first couple of episodes, and then eventually everything is going to move over to the WQAD Plus app. If you're not familiar, what is the Plus app? Well, you can get to it from our website, WQAD.com. You hit the Watch Live Now thing at the top of the page. You can also get through it through the News 8 app, same thing. Or if you have a smart TV,
you can get it.
Yeah, it's a free app for your smart TV. I believe it comes on several different brands. I know LG's got it, Apple TV's got it, Roku's got it.
Fire Stick has it as well.
My Amazon Fire Stick has it.
Yes.
So there's many different ways that you're going to be able to watch this. But the goal of our little show here is we get 30 minutes of nonstop you guys getting to ask me questions and I will answer them. Of course, as we say during the week, keep them weather related only.
Yes.
Don't make it weird. I said this.
We're talking shop, but only talking shop about weather.
Exactly. Yes. we're gonna try and keep it on that topic, and I'm gonna have kind of like a rotating cast of guests and characters coming through. So Peter's working today. He's joining me today, and we're gonna do a little weather history too, because there was a big event that happened in the United States long time ago today.
Long time ago.
Yeah. A hurricane in Miami.
1926.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I know.
So he's going to get to explain a little bit of that too. Plus, he's going to be kind of like in this case, my left-hand man. Yes. Well, I guess on the screen, you're on the right-hand side. So you are the right-hand man when it comes to answering some of your questions too. So how do you submit your questions? A couple of ways. Because we're on Facebook as well right now, you can put it in the comments, or you can send us a text message too. And do you think I have that text number memorized? I know it ends in 0888.
If I'm being honest, we see it all the time.
I know. You think I would have it memorized. Give me a second. I'll pull it up on the promo that I did yesterday, and I'll tell you what the number is. You can text it to us, that is. Text message data rates may apply if you're still on one of the older plans. It's 309-304-0888. 309-304-0888. We made the last part easy to remember. It's all
it's all 8. I mean, we're Channel 8. You can't forget that.
Exactly. So that's a little intro as to what this is. It's going to be every Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning. So from 9 to 9:30, you can hop on to the live stream. This week and next week probably going to be here on Facebook and WQAD Plus. But the following weeks, everything goes to WQAD Plus. And again, that's free. That is a free app.
It's free. Who doesn't like free
things?
Yeah.
And you know what's nice about WQAD Plus is we own that channel. We can break into it whenever we please. We can put on it whatever we want within reason. Now, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's unlike the main on-air channel where we have to be really picky about what we're covering up in terms of programming. With the 8 Plus app or the WQAD Plus app, we don't have to.
No.
We can do whatever we want. So we're going to take advantage of that.
We are. And you can get anything local here on your WQAD app too.
Yeah.
It's constant 24/7 streaming.
It is a constant stream.
Us here just at the station.
Yeah, and it's got your weather forecast. It's got news in there. There's some other lifestyle shows I think that are also curated in there too. So if you haven't checked it out on your smart TV. Again, it's totally free. And if you don't have a smart TV, no worries. You can get it on your phone, go to the WQAD News 8 app, or just go to WQAD.com. It's really easy. Yeah, it's not complicated, I promise. So while we're waiting for some questions to come in, and I want to thank our other right-hand man, and that's Alec, who's manning the digital side of this, watching the text information. If you text us a question, also watching our Facebook live stream, he'll let us know too when we get these questions in, and we'll just start answering them in rapid fire. But while we're waiting, for everyone to simmer. Do we have a question?
You got a question already?
Oh my gosh. 9:04 and we have a question already.
We're off to a hot start here.
Oh my gosh. The pressure is on. So what is our question?
Well,
is it a hard one?
I don't know. We'll see what you think. Frank asks, I can never see the northern lights when they're supposed to be visible. Do I need to drive further north?
In most cases, you do. And I will be honest, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see him here last night either. Well, not last night, but the night before. And one of the things that works against that is not only our latitude, we're much lower, but think of where the moon has been the last 2 nights. It's a full moon.
Yes.
And to be able to see the northern lights more, brilliantly or vividly, you need to be in a new moon phase. The light coming off of that moon will obscure the northern lights very, very efficiently. So if we didn't have a full moon, I think we would have had a better chance at seeing them the other night, but we had a full moon, more light in the sky, makes it harder to see.
Not only a full moon, it was a super moon.
It was a super moon, yeah, and you kind of touched a little bit about that and weather this week. So what was the difference between like a regular moon and a super moon?
Well, the super moon actually is closer to the Earth. So those moons are going to appear much brighter and much larger. So if you noticed last night on our Bridgepoint camera at 10 o'clock, we did a live shot. It was so bright, it looked like we were zooming in on a street light or the sun.
Oh my gosh.
The iris on our camera couldn't even pick it up. It was so bright.
Yeah.
But it was huge, and this is the second closest full moon to the Earth. So in the moon's rotation around the Earth, this is the second closest it'll be to us here on the Earth.
Which is awesome.
So there's another one coming next month too.
That's right.
It's the Hunter's Moon.
Yeah.
The Hunter's Moon is coming up. So we had Harvest Moon last night. Now Hunter's Moon is coming up next month, and it's only 76 miles closer, so it'll be even bigger.
So it's even bigger than
76 miles closer. These are the 2 closest ones. Not a big difference.
Like a little, but it's still
a little bit brighter. And there's the eclipse too.
That's right. Yeah. Like this one, we had the partial lunar eclipse.
There's just a little bit at the top.
If you missed it, check
like
out it's like a little divot.
Yeah, a little divot at the top.
I was like, what word can I use to just? It's like the moon had a hat.
Yeah.
A really dark hat on.
Yeah, the little top hat.
I love that.
Oh.
But yeah, that's the answer to that question. Northern lights. I tell you what, and they're so hard to forecast because these, waves of magnetic energy that come from the sun, they're super, super, super hard to forecast the time of arrival.
Oh, yes.
Intensity is a little bit harder, but it's all about the timing. And I can't tell you how many events we've had where they're like, oh, the solar flare coming in is so intense, but guess what? It's like noon. So you're obviously not going to see any northern lights when that thing comes in.
No, it's so bright out, you can't see it.
But yeah, it's northern lights, space weather forecasting. Whoo, way beyond my pay grade. Way, way up there. You got to have like a master's and a doctorate and postdoctorate and everything else to try and figure out space weather. Great question, though. I love it.
That's a great question.
I love it.
Oh, we got another one from Ramona.
Oh, okay.
I know. Is severe weather season over? Haven't seen much in the last month or so.
It is not. And I know it's been quiet.
It's been quiet.
It may seem like, okay, maybe the worst of it is behind us. But it is not. We see what I like to call a secondary severe weather season. I actually kind of talked about this a few weeks ago. I was trying to see if I could find the graphic in here. There it is. I'll actually throw it up on the screen right now. That we have 2 severe weather seasons. Now, obviously, the spring season is more robust, and you see it's taller on the chart here. Our secondary season is not typically as strong as what we see in the spring, and there's a reason for that. So when you're dealing with the spring severe weather, you're dealing with a much greater difference in temperature, and it's the greater difference in temperature that drives the storms. You think about where we're at right now, it's late summer, will be fall this weekend, later this weekend. The temperature differences just aren't that extreme yet. A lot of the United States is still warm. We have not established a snowpack to the north in Canada and in the Arctic yet. Whereas we've already done that in the spring while temperatures are warming up. So it's more of a bigger difference in temperature. So that's why we have less in the terms of intensity for a fall severe weather season, but it's still there. And also remember, we've had derechos in December. We've had tornado outbreaks in October, November, December, January, February. We really can get severe weather any time of the year. But when you look at the stats, these are our 2 peaks, if you will, of severe weather season.
Yes.
And you're going to get to experience that this year.
Experience it. I'm excited. I'm excited for snow. It'll be fun.
I know. I cannot wait to see your reaction in snow.
I've never been in sub-freezing temperatures, so that'll be real interesting to see.
Yes. If you missed Peter's introduction, by the way, tell him where you're from real quick.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. This year we broke a record, 100 straight days of 100 plus. So that's all I'm used to, just dry, warm heat and sunshine.
Yeah.
And monsoons. We get a little bit of monsoons.
I swear, I told him, I said, if we drop to a record low again this year, like 33 below zero, you know who I'm going to blame? Because,
brought it.
yeah, he from one extreme to the other, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think-
They'll throw me outside and make me cover it. I'll be the one to do that instead, right?
Like, so what do you think?
What do you think, Peter? Having fun yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you done with your initiation yet?
Oh, goodness. Goodness
Oh,
gracious.
it's a lot of fun.
I love it. I love
It
it.
is a lot of fun.
It's been so fun.
Love it.
Um,
Any more questions?
Not yet so far.
Still waiting? Okay. Hey, again, just put it in the comments section or you can text it.
Text it in.
309-304-0888. Don't forget, text and data message rates may apply. Still got to put that in there.
Yes.
So doesn't everybody have unlimited texting right now?
Most everyone, I think.
There must
It's
be a
just
few
part of every-
stragglers.
Yeah, but
Still
still
having a
pretty
good-
common.
It's okay. If you like your plan, no judging.
Yeah,
We're not going to judge.
No.
We can move on while we're waiting for some questions, though.
I mean, we could show them maybe some weather coming up
Yes.
this week.
Should we move on to some hot topics?
Some hot topics.
Yes.
Let's
Hot
have some hot
topics.
topics.
One of the hot topics is, when is it finally going to rain around here?
I know. We're at 18 days today
And that's
without significant rain here in the Quad Cities.
It's crazy. My lawn, it feels like you're walking on a bowl of Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
It's so crunchy. And, you know, it's fall. We expect it to dry out a little bit. You know,
Yes.
it's not always going to be wet. Also, look at what's going on in the tropics. We haven't had a lot of storms coming up our way lately from that, too. So when is it going to rain? We can talk about that right now. If you missed the forecast this morning, we've kind of been watching this area of low pressure that's been off to the west. And I'll back up to that first before we go to future track. It's this right here. And believe it or not, this low has been hanging out here for days upon days. It hasn't been able to move because we had potential tropical storm number 8 down here in the Carolinas, which was supposed to be Helene.
It was supposed to be Helene,
Yeah.
but didn't.
It didn't quite make the criteria. It had the wind, but it did not have the pressure.
No pressure, no
for a tropical
sustained
storm.
real formation of a
Yeah,
storm.
it was very loosely organized. All the storm energy with it, the thunderstorms, well to the north of the center of circulation. So it's kind of a hot mess. But still, I mean, look what it did to the Carolinas.
Oh, that rainfall.
Tons of rain.
18 inches, I think
More
we're
than
talking about.
18 inches on Carolina
Yeah.
Beach. It was insane. But now that, you know, that thing's on the way out, we kind of break down this weather wall that's been on the East Coast. So this low is on the move, albeit slowly, and you can see it's got some showers and thunderstorms in Nebraska and the Dakotas and also into Kansas. It's breaking apart right now, but that energy will get closer to us Thursday night into Friday morning, and guess what it's going to bring?
It's going to rain.
I'm so excited.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I never thought I'd be so excited to see some rain, even hear some thunder here too.
I
So
know.
right into future track, there's your timing right here, 1 a.m. Friday morning. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms are coming in from the west. Nothing severe.
No.
You look at the time that this is coming through this early in the morning, not the greatest dynamics you're going to have present for that.
And why won't we have those severe chances? I think that's something a lot of people might wonder. Why aren't we going to have those severe chances?
Yep. It's all about the dynamics. You have, no sunshine to destabilize the atmosphere. Your winds are a lot weaker at night.
Okay.
Your upper level winds in the atmosphere. So just not the greatest ingredients for severe weather. But enough ingredients to get rain. That's the important thing.
That's what we need.
Oh, we need the rain.
We need the rains.
so bad.
Yes.
We really, really need it. So let's keep our fingers, toes, and everything else we can crossed for this right here. I think timing-wise, this is going to be out of here by the morning commute. So no impacts to the morning commute. That is certainly some good news. And if you're worried about Friday night football, well, don't be. It's going to be dry as we go into Friday
We're gonna
afternoon,
be all
Friday
clear.
evening. Yeah. The only thing is we're going to have to watch, and I notice winds are out of the northwest here by Friday evening, but we still may have, depending on how much rain we get, we may have a little bit of leftover moisture that might make it feel a little sticky outside for
It's going to be a little bit
football.
more humid this weekend, I saw.
A little more humid, still temperatures in the 80s, so
Yes.
you can still keep your summer attire
Oh, yeah.
for football.
Feels like summer.
I know.
Summer in September.
It's so weird.
It's so
so
weird.
weird, but it is what it is, you know? There's your rainfall potential too, by the way. If you're here, I would say Burlington, south of that, from Burlington to Galesburg, you're likely not going to see too much. If you're north of that line, especially between Burlington and Interstate 80, that's where you're likely going to see the bulk of the rainfall, at least according to the data this morning. This is probably going to shift a little bit more, but
It's a little bit further out, so
Yeah.
it's hard to be exact.
exactly. We do know that a few of you are going to get a quarter of an inch or so. Thank goodness.
I
Oh,
need it.
thank goodness.
I need it.
Goodness.
I know. And there's some more storm chances this weekend, too.
Yeah, we're not done with storms after tomorrow. Oh, there's your number, by the way. I love 309-304-0888. Text and data message rates may apply. there's the weekend. Yeah, a couple more showers and thunderstorms expected. These are not all day rain.
No.
So
Very isolated.
yeah, if you've got a tea time this weekend, keep it. You know what to do. You grab the Storm Track 8 app and you turn on those notifications.
I need a tea time this weekend.
I know. Look at the temperatures.
Especially on Sunday. Look at that.
Yeah, 78 degrees. More chances for storms early next week too.
A lot of it. It's good. We need it.
Yeah.
And that's good for that fall color too.
That's right. Yeah. We talked about that too
Yes.
earlier this week, that we've kind of green checked mark all the requirements to get a really nice fall color display this fall. So
It'd be gorgeous.
the only thing is we don't want a big wind event.
No.
Because that would just blow all the leaves off and then, well, there goes that. So
Yeah.
we want no derechos through the rest of the year.
No.
More specifically through the end of October if we want to see color.
Yes.
And we don't want any big wind to come through either.
No.
That's our hope.
It's our hope.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes, but I'm hoping.
Yeah. We'll see
get it.
about that. Any new questions? Anything else coming in hot?
Not much.
Okay.
So
we
far.
got more hot topics.
We got more hot topics.
topics.
Wanna do some more hot topics?
Yeah. And this one's a hot tropical topic.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you may have seen a little buzz about this on the internet. Possibly if you follow a lot of different weather pages. I do, of course, being a meteorologist, and I know you do as well.
Yes.
But there is a possibility that we could see some new activity in the Gulf of Mexico next week. National Hurricane Center is watching this right here, south of the Gulf right now. 20% chance of development in the next week. You are likely going to see that number go up significantly once we get into the weekend and beyond. In fact, there's a lot of models that want to take this, blow it up into full-fledged hurricane status by the middle part of next week, right into the Gulf of Mexico. Track is way too early, of course, to talk about that because the thing hasn't even formed yet. We're waiting for thunderstorms to kind of get their act together here. But anyone has friends, family members along the Gulf of Mexico coastline next week, definitely make sure they're keeping an eye on the forecast. It looks like it's going to heat up again.
Yes. So we actually do have a question. It's from Andrew. See, I thought this was a note from you to the viewers, but it's actually from Andrew.
Okay.
That's
all right.
not Andrew Stutzke.
It's a good name. It's
great.
I like it.
I like that
Should
name.
be a great question.
Good morning, all. I was wondering, will fall be on time, and what's your outlook for October weather? Will it stay warm and mild, and with us falling into a drought yet again? Can that impact our winter outlook? What will that look like with the lack of moisture, if so?
That is a really good question. So the first part was, are we going to have fall on time, early or late?
Yes.
Is that what the question was?
Yes.
So we're going to have fall likely a little bit delayed. And that's just based on what we're seeing right now. Because remember, we've already started meteorological fall. That started on September 1st. Actual fall starts this Sunday, this upcoming
September
Sunday for the weekend.
22nd.
Yes. So I think, honestly, you're going to see a bit of a delayed start. But there may be a big push to get us into some really chilly air once we get into the month of October. And I'm hunting for a graphic that I'm going to pull up here for you right now that explains why I think that may be a possibility. Here it is.
Your polar vortex?
It is my polar vortex
I love
graphic.
this graphic.
Yes. So this is something that you really follow kind of more in the winter time, but it's also appropriate to follow now as we start entering the cooler months. So what I'm showing you is the status and the current placement of the polar vortex. So right now we're facing the North Pole. And if you look at the polar vortex, now my yellow line is going to be a little off from where it is because I haven't updated this yet. But you can tell just by looking at the graphic what this polar vortex is shaped like. It's not a perfect circle. And that tells us that the polar vortex is weak. And you may be thinking to yourself, oh, weak polar vortex.
Yeah, right.
It sounds good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It's not as strong. Yeah, like you said, no is the answer. It's the exact opposite. When you have a weak polar vortex, the polar vortex is more free to move about wherever it wants to go. And that usually means we get these cold air intrusions into the United States a little bit ahead of schedule. So there is still the possibility that as we get into October, we may start out warm, but we may be getting into those frost and freeze conditions a little bit earlier than we typically would. Yeah. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Right now, it's forecast to remain weak through the beginning of November. Again, we want to see this be more of a perfect circle. If it's a perfect circle, it can't wobble, it can't move all over the place. When it's like this, it can really go anywhere. And if this remains the case this winter, Oh, goodness.
It's going to be a cold one.
Don't even want to think about the cold that's going to be coming into here.
This makes me enjoy these 90 almost degree days.
Oh, gosh. It does. It makes it hard to complain about them. I know that when you're
Yes.
thinking about all of that. Also, don't forget, we have La Nina that is still forecast to develop. That is still very much on track when it comes to that. If you look at, actually, that's not going to be the right graphic. Never mind. We'll go back to the other one. But I was hoping to find my diagnostic discussion graph that I made there. But basically, La Nina is still expected to take over for this winter, and that usually means we're slightly cooler than normal,
Yes.
and also wetter than normal. So
Yes.
we'll see what happens with that. I will say La Nina is a lot more frugal than El Nino around here.
Yes.
It's a lot more variable than what El Nino is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We got another question from Brandy.
Okay.
I know. When will we find out how harsh of a winter we might have? So it kind of speaks on the same topic, but
Everyone wants to know about that winter forecast.
everyone wants to
right?
know that winter forecast.
Yes. So last year, I actually went back to our website the other day to see when did we put out that winter forecast from last year. It was about the second week of October. So we got to give it a few more weeks, and then we'll be able to have a more concrete answer in terms of
More solidified.
what we're expecting. Yeah, because there's going to be a couple of things at work. Again, you've got La Nina, and if you're not familiar with what La Nina is, that it's cooler than normal waters off of the east central Pacific, off of South America.
Yes.
That impacts weather big time because it impacts thunderstorms around the equator and all of the energy that they pump out that moves to the north here in the northern hemisphere. So we're really waiting to see when La Nina is going to start, and that's going to give us kind of a better indication of what to expect for winter. But given one of the clues that I just showed you right now, it's like pieces of a puzzle. You look at the polar vortex, you look at the La Nina, El Nino situation. You look at what hurricanes are doing. Obviously, it's been pretty quiet lately.
It has.
It's been very quiet in the Pacific for sure. But we're getting more of those pieces of the puzzle to come together, and we think the puzzle will come together completely as we get into that first or second week of October to give you a more confident outlook as to what we're going to see.
Yes.
But just looking at the polar vortex, you'd
Cold.
say, oh my gosh, it's going to be cold
It's going to be cold.
at times. So
Yeah,
that's
for
just
sure.
one piece.
Yes, but it's looking cold. Trending that
Yeah.
way, we like to say.
Exactly, I like that word. Yeah, we're trending colder
colder.
than normal for
Yes.
this upcoming winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Want to take a look at some weather history?
Yeah, let's
Thought
do
time
it.
For some weather history.
I want to know about this Miami hurricane
Oh
thing.
boy, it was a strong one. It was a very strong one. It was in 1926.
gosh.
I'll pull up that graphic so we can show them.
Oh, you know what? I'd like, it's right behind me, but we need it bigger. We can't
need it
read that.
bigger.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Pardon me.
Oh, you're good. But I mean, take a look at this.
There we go.
hurricane.
Now they can take
we
that
can take
full
that full screen. I did the Miami hurricane colors because I mean, it's a hurricane in Miami.
I
It's like
love
the football
this.
team.
He is so smart.
I know.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
love my college football. I'm just a nerd. But it had 138 mile per hour sustained winds, and that eye of pressure that passed over Miami, it was at 27.61 inches. That equates to 934 millibars.
Wow.
That is on our conversion chart that we have here, the second lowest conversion
That's crazy.
on the chart. So that's how much low pressure was in that hurricane. And tides up to 12 feet. It flooded the bay there and it had 372 casualties. It was a very strong hurricane, tons of damage. So,
And think about the time of this too. It's 1926.
yes,
We don't have technology.
we don't have the radars to track
We
it.
don't have the radars. Nobody's got a cell phone.
No.
Everyone's relying on, probably newspapers at this point.
It is
most
newspapers.
likely.
Yep.
So your information's a day or two old, and that's why your casualty number is so high.
Yes.
That is remarkable.
Hurricane infrastructure, too, wasn't really considered a thing.
That's right. Think
Yeah,
of
yeah.
buildings today, earthquake. They have to
Yes,
sustain.
they have the sustainability for earthquakes.
And now it's hurricanes.
Now it's hurricanes. Those little podiums that you see?
Yes.
That wasn't very common back then when I was researching it. Most of them were just your typical house, and that's obviously when hurricanes roll around.
That's really interesting.
I know, right?
I've always wondered because, of course, in the last decade or so, we've never talked about a storm coming into Miami or anything like that.
No, they haven't seen it recently.
But if you look at the map of all of the hurricanes, going back to the 1920s, you'll notice by and large that a lot of them are on the west coast of Florida.
They were.
Or they're north of Miami. Miami just kind of gets spared, but there it was in 1926.
1926. It's kind of like that Galveston one in 1910, where
yes,
that's like the most historic, you could say, hurricane to move through the United States, potentially. Oh, Katrina, obviously.
And Katrina too, but Galveston was no joke. I mean,
Galveston was no joke, but this was
one.
kind of like Miami's Galveston in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and think of how far we've come now from the 1920s. We're now able, like we just moments ago, we talked about a system that hasn't even formed yet, about potentially getting into the Gulf and becoming a hurricane.
And we can calculate the percentage chance of it.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that so cool?
You go back to 1926, they're like, what?
I know.
Next week?
They didn't even have. They didn't really have meteorologists as a profession.
They didn't.
Back then.
I think back then it was still, the Army. It was part of the military.
Yes,
back then.
it was military.
So,
no TV meteorologists.
no, none of that.
National Weather Service.
No 14-day outlook.
No 14-day outlook.
Not even a 3-day. No.
I know.
That was really interesting, though. I appreciate you looking that up for me.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I'll maybe get you one every week.
Yeah, that's our goal. Is we're gonna, drag some guests in here from time to time and put in some little weather tidbits while we're waiting for your questions. So rock on, successful episode number 1.
Episode number 1
in the books.
We still have a little. Oh, we have one more question.
You got one more?
You want to squeeze in one more?
Yeah,
question?
let's squeeze in one more.
Trinda said, "Good morning. Where can I go for resources to teach my granddaughter about what you do? The first thing she says in the morning is, please turn on the weather."
Oh,
she
that's
is
so
8.
cute. That is adorable.
I know.
They all start so young too.
I know.
I knew when I wanted to do this when I was really, really young. The best resource, honestly, if you have not checked out Storm Track 8 University yet on our webpage, WQAD.com, check it out. So Morgan and I, we did all that during the pandemic when we were all kind of stuffed in our houses, and we did all the curriculum and stuff like that. So you can go there, you can check out the videos, all of that good stuff. And if you're really, really interested, we really don't say no to coming in for a tour. I mean, I just had somebody in for a tour this weekend.
Oh, that was awesome.
Big weather fanatics. So yeah, if you get in contact with one of us and just say, hey, can I come in for a tour sometime with my grandkid or my kid or my niece, nephew? Or if you got maybe a person in your class that's interested in doing that, or maybe your whole class wants to come in, just let us know. We can set that up for you and we can show you how it works.
We'd love to show you guys around. We're nerds. We like this.
Oh, we love that.
It's like our favorite thing to do.
This is our element.
This is.
Exactly.
This is our happy place.
Yeah. And we're very happy here.
We are.
We are. No, we're not getting paid to say that.
No. I love it.
Did we miss any? Is there another one after? If there is, no worries. We're going to push that to next week's episode.
Trinda was the last one.
Okay. That's awesome. We got it all caught up.
Got it all in. We got everyone in.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to thank everyone for their participation. I want to thank Peter here for the work on the Day in History thing. You did an awesome job with that. And yeah, this is going to be an every weekday thing, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Initially here on Facebook and on WQAD Plus app, but coming up in the next few weeks, everything will push over to the WQAD Plus app.
Yeah, just text us in those questions.
Yeah, phone number is easy to remember. Remember. What is it again? 309?
309-304-0888.
See, now we've got it memorized.
We got it.
We're going to be ready for next week. It's going to be flashing on your screen
Yeah, we're just
like a telethon.
a full screen graphic of it.
Exactly. I should do that today. I'll add that to my list.
Oh, I know.
But I want to thank you guys for joining us. Our next live newscast is coming your way for GMQC at 11. I will see you then. And Peter, are you on the air today?
Not today. I'll be back Friday, helping out James on his break.
Nice. So you get to see Peter's beautiful young face on Friday.
Goodness, I want to say beautiful.
We'll say it anyway. Handsome. How about
Thank
that?
you. I like that.
Yeah. So Peter, we'll see you Friday. I'll see you coming up later this morning on GMQC at 11. Have a great Wednesday, Quad Cities.